Hey, it's Israel. Before heading to the library, I was talking about the email I got from Ryan Holiday, which is skip the shortcut, take the long way instead. And I said, if there is a way of getting your desired results at a fast pace, or if you can get it at a short interval rather than taking the long process, you should go for that, as long as you're not doing something illegal or something bad or to the detriment of others. And I stand by that statement, which is, if you have two options in life, and there is an option that would get you your dream outcome at a shorter time, and you are doing the right thing, and it is 101% the right thing, you should do that compared to doing the long process. Because in as much as because you are trying to get to a desired result or a desired destination, and as long as you're going from this point, let's say this is you here, and you're going to this point here, and as long as you get to the desired result without doing anything illegal, you're not hurting anybody, you're not killing anybody, everything you're doing is 100% the right thing. It is 100% the right thing. Going from this place to this place at the shortest possible time required is 100% allowed. Why do I think so? I think so because if you get to live 90 years and you're able to get all the things you want in life, it's at the age of 20. You have 70 years to create a world whereby there can be a form of advancement. The resources you've gathered, you can use it to help people, you can use it to grow your community, you can even use it to influence the lives of an entire generation, compared to if you take the long way. Because let's say you are the same person, but rather than taking the shortcut, you take the long way. That would deprive an entire generation of being influenced by you. Now remember, because it is a shortcut doesn't mean it is something bad. It simply means it is an added advantage. Let's say there are two people. There is John, then there's Jonathan. John and Jonathan are age mates. Let's say John is born in 1990 and Jonathan is born in 1990. Then at the age of 15, So we have Jonathan. At the age of 15, they both decide they want to be medical doctors. Now, John did a research and realized that all he has to do is go to university, then go to med school and become a doctor. Then Jonathan also at the age of 15 also wants to be a doctor, but rather than doing that, Jonathan decided to get an apprenticeship with a doctor so that he can get hands-on experience. Then, after he decided to go to the university, then medical school, and become a doctor. This might not be a very accurate explanation because if you want to be a doctor, you would know that you should go to the university, med school, and be a doctor rather than first be an apprentice with a doctor, then go to university, then go to medical school, and then become a doctor. So that is a terrible illustration. Before using my illustration, let's just use what Ryan Holiday has given us. Then, during the course of that, we will use my illustration because I am not here to mislead you guys, and I want us to learn together so that we can all grow together. Like I said, guys, there are no leaders or misfits. I did say that I am your leader, but under the leadership position can be taken from me. But right now, it will be difficult because rather than try to be stubborn and give you guys very some explanation that I will force myself to make accurate, I'd rather first learn, then make a better illustration. And that is why I am the leader. Okay, so according to Ryan Holiday, there is a great exchange between Epictetus and the students that encapsulates how the Stoics likely would have felt about artificial intelligence. So there's a great exchange between Epictetus and the students that encapsulates how Stoics likely would have felt about artificial intelligence. And then he went on to say, tell me what to do, the student says. So this is more like an interaction between the student and Epictetus with regards to artificial intelligence. And this explanation, this conversation is meant to show us what Stoics would think about artificial intelligence. The student says, tell me what to do. It would be better to say, Epictetus corrects him. So the student comes and says, tell me what to do. Then Epictetus corrects him and says, it would be better to say, make my mind adaptable to any circumstances. No, no, that's dumb. It would be better to say, Epictetus corrects him, make my mind adaptable to any circumstances. So a student comes and tells Epictetus, tell me what to do. Then Epictetus corrects the student and told him that it would be better to say, make my mind adaptable to any circumstance. And that is the end of the dialogue between Epictetus and the student. He then proceeded and wrote, in our fast paced world, we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts to success, happiness, and fulfillment. We are advertised get rich quick schemes and productivity hacks on social media, which is itself a shortcut to human connection. Now, artificial intelligence presents itself as perhaps the ultimate shortcut, offering to write our emails, draft our essays, create our art, do our research, and even think for us. In the second paragraph, he talks about the fast paced world where we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts to success, happiness, and fulfillment. Also, how we are advertised get rich quick schemes and productivity hacks on social media, which is itself a shortcut to human connection. Is it a shortcut to human connection? Because here he wrote, we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts to success, happiness, and fulfillment. We are advertised get rich quick schemes and productivity hacks on social media, which is itself a shortcut to human connection. If I'm to go by Ryan Holiday, then his emails is also a shortcut to human connection because reading Daily Stoic has promised me that me being a stoic and learning to control my emotions will make me evolve and be a better person. And over the years, I've been reading Daily Stoic, which has come with different emails promising me or educating me how to be successful, educating me how to be happy and how to be fulfilled. Although Ryan hasn't told me how to make a lot of money and he hasn't taught me any social media hacks, but would I consider him teaching me how to be successful based on the stories of Stoics, or should I say, based on the stories on how to be happy as a Stoic and how to be fulfilled as a Stoic? Those are shortcuts. I don't think this is very accurate because when people share their opinions and they tell you what worked for them, they aren't trying to mislead you, although that might be a shortcut, but I think it's good to learn from people's mistakes. But then again, life is very relative, and a person's mistake might not be a mistake that you might be prone to because your circumstances might be different. And then he said, we are advertised get rich quick schemes and productivity hacks on social media. I do understand the get rich quick schemes because over the years on the social media space, different people bring different, well, get rich quick schemes that promises you the next cash out or the next way of making a lot of money. And this is wrong. But social media hacks is not accurate, but is not inaccurate. I was listening to Alexa Moses' YouTube video, and I've been listening to Caleb Rostin's videos talking about branding and advertising. I've also been reading Moses' books and 80%, 80/20 rules of marketing. Would I consider that as get rich quick schemes? Because they are shared on media and what makes them not accurate. It says, in our fast paced world, we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts. Yes, but being promised, being made promises of shortcuts is not a bad thing as long as it works. Assuming I didn't know about lead generation or trying to get new customers, I wouldn't not get new customers. But if I don't not get new customers, then I would have no one to sell to. Is that a bad thing? Although I realize that the best way is to create a community, not by advertising. But then again, that doesn't invalidate the results of a proper advert. Guys, this is deep. When you try to properly analyze something that you are reading, and you don't just read it as a law, you realize that everything in life is very subjective and can be interpreted in so many ways. Because Ryan Holiday is saying in our fast paced world, we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts to success. Yes, we are. We are bombarded with promises of shortcuts, and we are bombarded with promises of happiness and fulfillment. And also, we are advertised get rich quick schemes, and we are also advertised different productivity hacks on social media. And then it says that, which is, or is said in this write up, that this in itself is a shortcut to human connection. It is a shortcut to human connection because, in a way, it deprives you the ability of learning through your own experience, and you might end up taking these things as a law. Not maybe not everybody would take it as a law, but some people would take it as a law. But guess what? This doesn't necessarily make it wrong, because in as much as some of these things might not be accurate, it doesn't mean they are not accurate either. Now, the next paragraph says, now, artificial intelligence presents itself as perhaps the ultimate shortcut, offering to write our emails, draft our essays, create our art, do our research, and even think for us. AI promises to do the heavy intellectual lifting while we reap the rewards, suggesting we can bypass the learning process altogether. Also, this paragraph right now, I sound more like a critic than a person saying it from a neutral point of view. But if I'm trying to say it from a neutral point of view, the second paragraph isn't also accurate. AI doesn't deprive you or allow you bypass the learning process. AI just simply enhances the learning process, and it makes it shorter and more efficient. Now, for the first paragraph, I totally disagree with him because I think it is subjective to the consumer. Although, I guess if a young person who doesn't know much finds different shortcuts to success, happiness, and fulfillment, they might not know what to do with this. And I think that is where regulation comes in. Also, for the get rich quick schemes and productivity hacks, some of them work and some of them do not. But like I said, some of them work. a whole lot of them work and a whole lot of them do not. And so it doesn't necessarily deprive you of a human experience. It does create a shortcut to human connection, but like I also said, shortcut is not necessarily a bad thing because if you can achieve a goal in a short amount of time, why could you the unnecessary elongated method? As long as you're not doing anything illegal, you're not committing a crime, you're not killing anyone, or doing it to the detriment of the person, it is not a bad thing. But it is a shortcut because then it deprives you of the learning experience, but not really also because Ryan Holiday talks about Epictetus and Seneca and different philosophers. And the way a philosopher works is they teach you. Now, when we talk about philosophy itself, not in its intricacies, but we have the Socratic and the pre Socratic. Now, the pre Socratic philosophers they made the fundamentals that the Socratic philosophers built on. So, does that mean that what the pre Socratic philosophers proposed, does that deprive the Socratic philosophers of discovering new things? It probably does, but then it is not also a bad thing because, in as much as it deprives them of getting their own philosophical opinions, we have different views of philosophy, and philosophy is not just restricted to pre Socratic or Socratic philosophers. We also have different philosophers out of the propositions of Socrates. And so, if I now come and say, oh, the pre Socratic philosophers, or it's pre Socratic, hello, let me confirm this before I teach you guys rubbish. So I'm trying to know if we have pre is the prefix of Socrates. So pre Socratic, then we have Socratic, then we should have post Socratic because the pre Socrates the pre Socratic cannot have their own deductions on the philosophy of Socrates if they were before Socrates. My cloud is slowing down. I'm checking code, so just give me a second. Okay, now according to Claude, first we have different schools of philosophy. If we're talking about Socratic philosophers, we have the pre-Socratic philosophers that come before Socrates. Then we have the Socratic philosophers during Socrates, that is Socrates himself. Then we have post Socratic philosophers. Those are the philosophers that built on Socratic and Platonic foundations. Now back to Ryan Holiday's email. I read a lot of Ryan's emails, and for me, this is a shortcut because it helps me. Does that mean his shortcut is depriving me of a human connection? I don't think so, because I think I am learning from it the same way the post Socratic philosophers built upon the views of Socrates. And although this might have deprived them from a different worldview, that doesn't mean it was not able to enhance a worldview that Socrates has already proposed. And so I don't agree with what he said. And this is why this morning I told you guys that everything done by humans is special, but you can also do something special because the people that are proposing all these philosophies or write ups, people that are doing things, they are not any better than you. They're just people that took their time to do these things, and that is just it. And then I don't want to rush it for the get rich quick schemes. I'm not going to lie. There are schemes on the internet that they will take your money from you and you will cry because I saw a quote that says sometimes you lose money trying to make money, and sometimes you lose more than enough money to make a little amount of money, which is true. But then that experience shapes you to discover yourself. So no matter what an experience is, regardless of what you have been proposed to on the internet, you need to be the person that tries to discover the truth for themselves. Why? Because no one really knows anything. People only speak based on their experience. And I'm not trying to fight Ryan Holiday. I love Ryan. Like, guys, I've been listening to Ryan. I've been reading Ryan since I was a teenager. And I'm approaching my 30s. God, the horrors. And I'm freaking out. I've been listening to Ryan since I was a teenager. It's 28, 28. Oh my God, I've listened to Ryan more than 8 years. 2018 minus, let's do some maths. This is 19. I was born in 1998, and I started listening to Brian in 200 level. I entered uni around 2016. Then that was 100 level, 2017, 200. And I met Oturayo in 200 because I remember it was when I met her, I discovered Ryan. And I started practicing Stoicism because I was trying to be more in control of my emotions. I tend to be very sometimes aggressive, sometimes sparky person. So sometimes I just spark up, and sometimes I'm like a very crazy person, and sometimes I tend to be a bit weird. So I try to practice stoicism so I can be very calm, like just a very calm person, a calm and cool person. So I started stoicism in uni in 200 level. So that was like 2017 minus 1998. 8 minus 17, that 8 plus 8 16, that's 9. So I started reading stoicism at 19. Guys, 19. And now I'm practically 28. So I've been with Ryan for 9 years, not 8 years. Shout out to you, Ryan. And one thing is, one thing I discovered is over the years, Ryan has actually helped me from being a philosophy enthusiast to reading different philosophy articles to reading his emails. And I can say for a fact that he's a brilliant person. But I don't think people proposing a shortcut to things is necessarily a bad thing. And I don't see how it is a shortcut to human connection because it's just people sharing their own experiences, and people sharing their experiences is not really a bad thing. The same way, the only reason why Socrates exists or existed in the first place is because he shared his own school of thought and his own ideologies, and because he did, we're able to build upon his knowledge. And should we say this in itself is a shortcut to human connection? And also, social media acts, in as much as this morning I did tell you guys that I do not like social media acts. They are quite exhausting and they steal your ability to discover things by yourself. They work and a lot of people build on them. So in as much as this can also be seen as a shortcut, would you classify this as a shortcut to human connection? And then he spoke about artificial intelligence. He said, in our fast paced world, we are constantly bombarded with promises of shortcuts to success, happiness and fulfillment, where advertised gets rich quick schemes and productivity hacks on social media, which is itself a shortcut to human connection. Sorry, second paragraph. Now, artificial intelligence presents itself as perhaps the ultimate shortcut, offering to write our emails, draft our essays, create our art, do our research, and even think for us. AI promises to do the heavy intellectual lifting while we reap the rewards, suggesting we can bypass the learning process. This is very accurate because the other day I realized that I think my IQ is reducing. I was trying to send an email myself and I had issues constructing the email and I just got so impatient. I felt like I needed to go to Claude to compose the email for me. Whereas all I needed to do was just take my phone and write a response to the email. And that is sad because it actually deprived me of my ability to gather my own thoughts and then put my thoughts into writing. And yes, this is a form of shortcut that this is a form of shortcut to human connection. But then again, it is about the user because now that I know that using AI consistently non-stop for basic tasks is affecting my ability to think, I am becoming a better person by using it as a learning enhancement. I just made an illustration of the few I not illustration I spoke about how pastors have private jets and I needed to know the few that a private jet uses. Then I asked Claude and Claude literally gave me the breakdown of everything. I could Google it and it will give me the answer. But unlike back in the days when I used Google to answer my assignments or my reports, AI is so much better because it breaks everything down for you and then it expatiates everything. It goes deep into it. It elaborates it and then it gives you a conclusion. So unlike when I was in high school and I used Google to write a report, here is an illustration. So when I was in high school, I could have a topic on, let's say, civic education, and they tell me to write a five-page essay on what government is. Then I would go to the cyber cafe because then there wasn't like Wi-Fi or internet much prevalent in Nigeria. So I'll go to a cyber cafe, then I'll buy time. Let's say buy 30 minutes or 1 hour. I'm saying Nigeria because I'm trying to be accurate with what I'm telling you guys. And this was around 2012 to 2015. My uncle, guys. And do you know how crazy it is that people few years from now would see videos and they would say, wow, the early 2000s. And we are literally living in the early 2000s. Which is why I will tell you guys again that if there is a way to get to a shortcut, take the shortcut as long as you're not committing a crime, it is not illegal, it is not to anyone's detriment, and you're not killing anyone. Take the shortcut, guys. This is 2026. 100 years from now, someone would watch this video and be like, "Oh my God, what's an old building? Such strange device. Why would you need to hold a mic?" You know, you'll watch these videos and everything would look archaic to them. But guess what? The passage of time in itself, although is linear, is full of different experiences because if I have 18, 90 years to live, if I can achieve a goal at a short period of time, I allow myself to set more goals that I can quickly achieve. That way, I maximize my experience in life rather than trying to take the long way. Same way, back to my story when I was in high school. So I use Google to do my assignments. Let's say I spend 1 hour doing the assignments. First, I Google what is government. Then I read what is government. But I have to actually read everything because I need to find out to write it as a proper report. Unlike AI, when I tell AI what is government, AI will tell me what is government, the sections of government, types of government, hierarchies of government, the government official. Like, it will give me every single thing. Google will only tell me what government is. Then, after going to different pages one after the other, I might stumble upon a page that says types of government. Or I actually even do a research and Google how do I write a research on government to get a high grade in school. Then it now told me that I should first write what is government, types of government. Then I will write all that down and put it as my table of contents. Then I will now start writing and now start googling what is government, types of government, aspects of government, classes of government, hierarchies of government, and then I'll take like 1 hour. Technically speaking, I usually don't take 1 hour. I usually spend like the entire day in the cyber cafe. So I do all this and I write everything down. Then I start printing everything. So I spend like my entire day doing that. Whereas in 2026, I go to Claude and tell Claude I have a project talking about from my high school. I'd like to talk about what government is. I need you to write out the best report for me to get the best mark. And then does everything. Same task, highly likely a better result from AI, but highly likely a better result from me also. Why? Because I use my human intelligence. And I'll talk about the human intelligence part later. But me in 2012 and me in 2026, we both get the result of writing a report on what government is and what I would do with my own human knowledge. That it would take me 6 hours. AI will do it for me in 10 minutes. And then after doing it 10 minutes, this is where the factor of your individuality comes in. I can choose to read it and understand everything and then grow, or I can just submit it like that. But then the 2012 me would be forced to read everything. But this is also still a factor of individuality because what took me 6 hours is now taking me 10 minutes. Although, in a way, it's depriving me of reading everything one by one. It's not depriving me either because I can choose to actually read it and then, after reading everything, make some tweaks and even make it better. And then have more time to research more things compared to me in 2012. By the time I'm done, I'd be exhausted because I already spent 6 hours doing the same task. Now, is that a good shortcut or is that a bad shortcut? So I'll tell you guys this again. Every proposition that is existing on the planet is made by a human being that is exactly like you, and there is nothing stopping you from making a better proposition because this is Ryan Holiday, guys. This is Ryan Holiday. Like Israel, I respect myself. I love myself. Like I love myself, but it's Ryan Holiday. But now I realized reading this is not so accurate because it's not depriving me of anything. The only person depriving me is me. But then again, it comes down to your individuality, and your individuality is shaped by. I've done my jot out to my scribble notes. Then again, the person that determines your individuality is not just you. Your individuality is shaped by your childhood and all the experiences, excuse me, you have had from when you were born till now. Am I making sense? Quick one. I'll keep it real with you guys. I have a platform called Mrs. Academy, and we teach people different courses. Now, we don't teach them the different courses. We are a platform that hosts different courses. And this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is you getting access to an online school that offers you different courses that you can take. And when you take these different courses, we also assign you a tutor. So this tutor will teach you what is in these courses, and then you can utilize these courses to make money on the internet. Furthermore, we would give you access to our software that provides reseller hosting and domain services that you can use to build websites using artificial intelligence and WordPress. Now, think about this. Back in the days, if I needed a website, I would get a developer. The developer would use HTML, CSS, Python, JavaScript, and whatnot to build me a website. And they would probably spend 1 week, 2 weeks, or even months. When I learned coding when I was in uni, I was learning HTML. It usually takes an approximation of a month to build a website. 1 month to build a proper, fully functional website because you have to code for the website. Right now, you can build a website not in a day, in minutes. The same thing using artificial intelligence. Quick question. Does is this a shortcut to human connection? No. This has made life a lot easier because why would you spend a month building a website? Or you can build a website in less than an hour. On Mrs. Academy, we have over 1,847 students, and we have students actively learning from us. In one of the cohorts of our website creation course, the first person to build a website is a girl called, give me a second, let me look for her. I'm checking for the video. She made a review video and attached a screen recording of the website she built to it. I'm still trying to find the girl's video, but this is one of my star pupil because her story inspires me. I don't want to play it out loud because I'm in the library, but I I won't attach the video to this video. But if you check out a video on the website on YouTube it's called 71 review videos by 71 students. A video is part of the 71 students. Now this is Shalom. This is Shalom. Shalom is a girl that has sickle cell and she has series of episodes and she texts me often to tell me about her different health issues and I really feel a lot for Shalom. She has been on my platform on WhatsApp for over 3 years. And guess what? Shalom is one of the most dedicated and hardworking person I know. Shalom has sickle cell, and yet she will never let anything stop her. Let me show you the website Shalom built. That is the website Shalom built herself using artificial intelligence. And guess what? She built it in minutes. If not for artificial intelligence, Shalom, a beautiful young lady with sickle cell, would probably not be able to put up with the task of building a website, coding for hours, and spending time debugging the code. Now, Shalom is the kind of person that can build a fully functional website in minutes. If you watch the video, Shalom is a social media manager. Then she built websites to generate leads to the website. She said all this in the video, so you can check it out on the video titled 71 reviews 71 review videos by 71 students. That is Shalom. Now let me show you the first girl that built a website. I just remember that name. Her name is Nkemdiri. Thus, the pretty Nkemdiri, and that is a website that she built using artificial intelligence in minutes, guys. You should listen to what Nkemdiri has to say. In our review video, she said I tutored the class myself, so she said I carried them along and I was able to attend to all their questions and no one was left behind. I'm the one enjoying the pleasures of her voice. You guys would not be able to hear her. So you should check out the video. Let me show you the video. Oh, you can check it out on Instagram or YouTube. It's across all our platforms. The video is titled 71 Review Videos from 71 Students. It is 58 minutes and 53 seconds long. So, yeah, you should check out our courses. And we have different array of courses. Let me show you guys the website. So this is the website. We have different array of courses. You might not see this properly. Let me show you guys well. So when you visit www.macademy.tech, you can get access to this website, which is our website, and you can check out our course catalog. can get the premium courses, and you can get the free courses. The free courses are 100% free, whereas the paid courses you pay for them. The free courses is going to show you that our courses are legitimate and very good, and you just get to get a taste of what you are about to pay for. Also, the free courses can be taken and utilized to make money immediately. But I won't lie to you, the paid courses are extremely superb. The free courses, you get access to the websites and the courses, but the paid courses, you get access to the websites, and by websites, I mean your student accounts, you get access to a private tutor, and you get a certificate after your training. Furthermore, you get access to our software, Misfits Architect, that can show you how to use AI to build websites. So, what are you waiting for? Check us out today. That sounds like some serious marketing, but you should. My phone is on 5%, so I'm going to stop this video now and charge. Then we will talk about Ryan Holiday's email for today, or we will continue talking about Ryan Holiday's email for today, which says skip the shortcut, take the long way instead. Personally, once again, I refuse to take I refuse to take the long way instead, and I plan on taking the shortcut. Shortcut is good as long as you don't do anything illegal, you don't commit a crime, you don't kill anyone, and it's not at anyone's detriment. Here is to take it the shortcut, accuracy and speed. Just scroll up after this video for the part 2.